What's up, friends of the good mood? This is Manni, and this video is packed with news about me, about the game, and a lot of other things. But first off, holy smokes, Pixonic, that thing looks awesome. The new Blaze Rex. Jeez, when I equipped this thing, I was like, wow. That is a fantastic design, I love it. Also on the weapons, right? The Blaze version of the Rex as well as the Blaze versions of the weapons. Really awesome. I am, however, worried about the damage output. 50,000 for a medium weapon and 32,000 for a light. Just seems way too much to me. But we're gonna test this, okay? Also, I wanna upgrade things with you together. You see, I only have a level 9 Bull Drone, a level 50 pilot here. Let's see how far we can get with the 11,000 Memorium that I've got. We also have the new Battleship, the Stealther, that we're gonna level. It's level 3 right now. So lots of stuff, and normally I do this before I start the video and prepare it, but I thought, hey, let's make this like an authentic thing. You see how it goes, how much it costs, and how it would be if you were to do the same things, okay? And full disclosure, because I see a lot of confusion about this. Some people are asking, hey, I thought, Manni, you're no longer part of the creator program. There are two separate versions of a creator program in Pixonic. There is the Mentors program, which includes the press account and giveaways and a lot of other things. And then there is there's the creator program. And the creator program is something every YouTube channel can participate and sign on to. And depending on the amount of views you get for War Robots, you get a certain amount of prizes sent to your private account. And that's why I get the new thing still, right? But only to a certain level and only a certain amount. For instance, I don't have more than these here from the new versions and so on, right? And also, I don't have an ultimate content. That's the reason why, okay? And that's why I like to do these hashtag WarRobots community videos where I can at least still show certain content that I don't have on my channel, on my account. All right, so now, second thing, before we start upgrading everything, you see that I have a different camera setup. I'm in a different location. I have left Germany. I've already announced this a while ago. I have deregistered, I sold everything, and I left. Boom. Finished with Germany and the European Union. I have a TikTok and an Instagram channel linked down below for you guys if you want to know more about my reasons. I don't want to put this too much into this video here. This is an entertaining gaming channel. Nothing related to politics here, but the other channels for Insta and TikTok, they go into the reasons why I'm leaving. So I'm linking them to you below in case you want to know more about this. But I'm now in Dubai for a while until I have set up everything here, and then I'm gonna move on to Thailand. But let's keep going, my friends. Even though the visual quality is slightly changed, we have a Rex Blaze Mark II level 6 right here. And you see I haven't gotten, despite being in the creators program, 0 silver. Damn it, I thought they're also sending some silver along because, yeah. How am I going to upgrade this now, right? But, you know, we're going to keep this at level 6 Mark II. Also the weapons, it's a good level, you know. I recently made a video where we explored how far should you even upgrade. Does it even make sense to go past Mark II level 1? It's in the top right corner for you guys, in case you haven't yet seen it. Check it out. Yeah, so we're leveling first the Bull. This is going to be a bit of a longer video, but I hope you guys are okay with that. Let's move on into this stuff. And I'm really hyped, by the way. I haven't been able to keep up with the news in War Robots over the last days because I was in the full stress on the airport and finding the hotel here and moving around with my 2 suitcases and my backpack. It's all shown on this other channels that I'm mentioning. But yeah, so now I get the chance to finally record something on the new update. Now, we have the new Bull Drone level 9. It converts more damage to dot, and it has a dot shotgun, additional damage also, and slowdown and lockdown immunity while on dot, like while dots are active on your robot. Which means this can be used for the Orokochi as well as the new Rex robot. Very interesting. I like when Pixonic brings in content that isn't specifically tailored to just a single new robot, right? I always like this. Of course, it's still a drone that only works on very few selected robots, but at the same time, it does work not just on the new one, and I like that. So good job, Pixonic, I like it. The damage reduction here, this is something we're gonna have to unlock. We're at level 12, reduces the dot effect taken by the robot. Obviously, if you're playing the Rex, this is like one of the most important bonuses that you can get, okay? So, we have 7,000 something of these microchip thingies, yeah? I think it's still one of those leftovers that I got from the conversion of all my modules into the new system. And one more upgrade, however, requires an upgrade token. I guess it makes sense. We're upgrading, so an upgrade token makes sense here. However, I think it does not belong into upgrading pilots, right? Because if you max out a pilot, the last step will cost an upgrade. Actually, I think 3 upgrade tokens. Or is it 1? We're gonna see. But I disagree with this one, because a pilot upgrade, why does it need an upgrade token? Like it's like you sending him to a university, you're teaching him, right? It's education. How does it? It's not a robot. Why does he need an upgrade token? You know, it makes no sense. But here's the Rex Legendary Pilot. The Rex ability has an extra charge, right? It's like the Ravana has an extra charge on his phase shift, or a Transcendence. So we're gonna see how lucky we are with the random skills applied. Because you can be very lucky here and get a good amount of well-leveled skills and then the right ones. Or you get terrible skills that you don't want. Yeah, so... Increased durability is already the right skill. I want that. Increased weapon damage, but durability is lower. That's exactly the opposite of what I want from a tanky robot. So this one has to be scrapped. This one is good. This one we can keep. Replenishes 1 ability charge once we drop 50%. We need that. That's a great choice. Blaze Rex deals increased weapon damage, but its speed is lowered. Also useless, okay? So I'm gonna make this like an extensive tutorial guide on how to equip a robot also, okay? We have 11,000 Memorium, so bear with me, gonna be a little longer. If you don't just wanna see the gameplay, skip ahead. I'm fine with that, my friends, okay? As usual, this content is for you, it's not for me, so pick what you like. So we can choose the other thing, which reactivates a 50%, the active module at 50%. I typically go with that because it's cheap. You only equip it once, and it's already basically maxed. You never have to max this or upgrade this any further. That's why I like these skills. And if you do have the power cells to support the playstyle, you can use this very well. Why is there a red thingy up here? Do I have a new title? Why are you showing me a red thingy up here? Gourmet. What a title is that? Who wants to have a gourmet next to... How did we even get this? Anyways, if the enemy team controls 3 or more beacons, increase weapon damage. It's not a good skill. We really need to max out the HP. So what I'm going for is also very important, active module recharges faster if you have a playstyle that utilizes active modules because you have the power cells. If you don't need this pilot skill, neither do you need the one that recharges your active module, right? You could go, however, with less power cell usage, but then again, if you're not using power cells, what's the point? More speed. Speed is meta, always great, but I don't want to sacrifice durability for it. Never. Never gonna do it. Basically on any robot, I would never sacrifice HP. HP is stat number 1. But just generally increasing speed is a good one, okay? Let's move on further. As long as durability less than 30%, it gets increased movement speed. That's good for robots that are very fast and need to capture beacons. But if you have a tank robot like the Rex, you would want to go with the defense points version. So that's what we're going to choose to override this skill. Costs us obviously some Memorium. And we're not upgrading it, so we're just in the process of choosing the right skills. The next one is already perfect, so we're keeping that. Increased weapon damage, but durability lower, no thank you. That's exactly what I don't want. I could go with speed, but first priority is always HP. Durability, okay? So we could even have the additional movement speed in addition to the defense points. Interesting. I thought that the stubborn skills override when you have one or the others. All right, never mind. Very important is also healing per second, right? But that again depends on what active modules you use. Maybe you're using active healing, then you don't need it. And I'm not quite sure which one I'm going to use. Also here, each second, right? That would be the one that you want. And also for each ability activation, super good on a Rex because he's got a lot of abilities to run with. If you have both, you're basically always on max HP cap. And then you don't need to use the active module healing for it, right? So you can differentiate. That's what we like about war robots. There is a lot of ways to customize your playstyle. I just wish those ways weren't monetized so strongly. But yeah, so let's keep going. Rex increased weapon damage. Oh, by the way, if you enjoy the thoroughness of this video and the way I'm leading you through all the steps and brain farts, then stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and stay with me, buddies. Wait a minute, where's the other... durability for... I want the durability for weapon damage. I must have overlooked it. What the heck? Increased speed for durability? No. Huh? What the heck? What is going on? This skill should be here. Increased durability. Increases weapon damage, but durability is lowered. And because we're trying to override this skill, we should see the other skill. Okay, you know what? Let's go with the speed then. Maybe the next skill will show up and have the option. I don't know. This shouldn't be the case. I'm confused because I think it would have this skill. So we're using gold to upgrade the pilot, and then obviously Memoriam to promote him to the next level. And I'm actually going to bump this through with a bunch of button presses here on the gold. One of the remnants of my old days is still having a good amount of gold. And now, here we need an upgrade token to get, it's one of them, not three, for to unlock the last level. Again, Pixonic, I disagree with the fact that this requires an upgrade token. I think it makes no sense. In my opinion, you should change that. But there's a lot of things, in my opinion, that need to be more fair when it comes to pilots. For instance, changing a pilot skill. If you were really fair with this, in my opinion, you would make it so that if some player leveled a skill to golden, he can choose and swap between the skills by spending Memoriam, but the level upgrade will stay the same. This would be really fair. It would be a better way for people to experiment with different skills. Also, it would probably bring you guys more Memoriam too, maybe, because people would be more willing to experiment with skills and also pay for the switching, you know? I think it would be a nice compromise, you know? But just my 2 cents, and I've said this a bunch of times, and I know, unfortunately, it's probably not going to change much. So, we've just unlocked 2 more skills, and I haven't maxed the skill yet, but let's see if the new skill appears that I'm looking for. Increased speed, but durability is lower. That's not what I'm looking. I'm looking for increased durability, but speed is lowered. Or has durability, no. Huh. It doesn't exist. Increase weapon damage for durability or speed? Okay, they don't have it in there. Apparently they don't consider the Rex a full tank. Like a Fenrir, for example, has that option. Okay, so in that case, I'm gonna go with healing upon activation of the ability. And then I'm going with healing per second. I'm choosing this playstyle where we are constantly healing each second of gameplay, okay? And then we're gonna boost the pilot to max. Ooh, wow, this costs a lot of gold now. I would recommend not doing that. If you guys are probably not having this kind of gold laying around, do not boost the last levels, or even the last couple of levels, yeah. So now we have, because we switched the skills, we lost all of the levels for them. Again, I think this is unfair. As long as Rex has durability against this, and more durability here. All right, so we had 11,000 Memoriam before, remember. So we're upgrading to the first step. So 19 resistance after we lost 70% of our health. Then the next one, 25, and now 40 defense points, right? Very good. HP goes up to 15% when you have this gold level maxed. Speed goes up to 15%. Speed has always been the meta in War Robots. It's the second most important skill after durability, and in some robot instances I would even go first priority. If this is like a Loki or a Skyros, you would want max speed above anything else, because these robots don't live from their tankiness. They don't benefit much from health increases anyways, because they have low base HPs. And since percentage increase only is percentage based, you're not gaining much for upgrading their health, but gaining speed on a robot that is already fast, that's the kicker. So we've meanwhile spent around 9,000 Memoriam to get the whole robot pilot from level 60, by the way, right? So we didn't have to do that, but I had to change basically almost all the skills and to get him to max level. So 9,000 memoriam, keep that in mind. But now we have this thing maximum speed and durability, and we get maximum healing per second, which means we no longer need to go with an active healing module. I can keep that away. So we're gonna unlock, we have almost 7,000 of the modules. So let's see how much we need to upgrade this to the maximum level. First, we have to research the base levels, which are a little more cheaper. Okay. And then we're choosing a specialization. Fortifier and anti-control makes 0 sense because, okay, anti-control makes no sense on the Rex because we already have it with the drone, right? So no need for anti-control. Fortifier makes no sense because we have no physical and no energy shield, so senseless. And the same here, the heavy armor kit would be useful, but it's overall, of course, a wasted thing. Instead, we could go with attack, which also makes no sense because we need to make this thing as tanky as possible. So I'm guessing the brawler is going to be what we're going to choose. This is the one that we want to max because we're going to get the repair amplifier, which adds a whole bunch of immunities after we've taken a certain amount of damage, defense points, and so on. And ray damage restore, exactly what we need from a tanky robot such as the Rex. So, we're going to max level with it. And by the way, feel free to share this video around with everybody you know who plays Warbots and who might want to have a bit of an insight into what to focus on when looking at a certain robot. In this case, a more tanky-based robot, because I don't think we have to worry about firepower with those new weapons. So, we have a nuclear reactor and the armor kit. Since tankiness is priority number 1, we're staying with the armor, 4% more durability. It's not much, but at least it helps us more than anything else. Remember, we chose every healing skill, so we don't need healing here. Instead, we could go with the Gray Restore. Yes, that is also healing, but it focuses more on restoring the lost Gray HP. This is something you could do because technically it's not the full healing skill. Or you could go with a phase shift. I like phase shifts because they allow you to counter certain robot abilities. I'm gonna go with a phase shift for now, and if I find out later then when playing that we have to increase or reduce the Gray HP damage that we've taken, then we have to can switch to this one. But for now I'm trying the other one. And now comes the very important, the immune amplifier. Way more important than Last Stand. Why? Last Stand only helps you for a few seconds and makes you immune. Okay, that can be useful, but Titan weapons still bypass your Last Stand. Weapons like Reapers and Gauss Volt Weber also do that, same as Corrosion. Whereas you can also lose the Last Stand just taking one shot and you're after in cover and then it's ticking down. So it's not always useful. However, the immune amplifier is going to become useful because it gives you so many immunities to things. Although, hold on a second, we get extra durability, speed increase. Yeah, we also get immunity to lockdown and suppression, but also freezing. Lockdown and suppression we already have from the drone, but the freeze is new. The extra durability and the speed would be important. I guess we could experiment around. In this case, because of the special drone, the immune amplifier might not be such a have to, right? I think we had 9,000, right? So we're maxing it out. And then we had 9,200, so we spent about 4,000 if I see this correctly. And I'm leveling up one more. I'm not going with the other specializations, even though they would give me the permanent effects. Oh my goodness, 9 kph more speed. Yo, that is important. However, I don't think the Rex is lacking speed. Here, more durability would be great, more damage output. All of those things would be really nice. But I'm not willing to unlock 2 complete specializations that I'm not going to use. Okay, so I'm stopping right here, and I would suggest you guys to do the same, even though these bonuses are interesting. By the way, do you see this? I'm not crazy. Ah! Right here, there is a weapon, there is a discipline laying between the legs of the Rex. It's not here though. Alright, so let's upgrade the Stealther Battleship, okay? And I think this episode, since it's already getting so long, is only going to be about upgrading everything. And in the next one, or this second next, or whatever, we're gonna, I think in tomorrow's video, we're gonna look at the gameplay, okay? For now, this is like an upgrading tutorial, what to focus your efforts on, to teach you some of this. So now we have the Battleship, and you see it's level 3, base level. What this one does, it provides a stealth. It already gives you a 5-second effect duration at the level that we're at right now, and it repairs apparently 5.5% HP. Very nice. Okay, so this means we will not equip the what is that? I don't think I have it here. The Stealther. What is this thing? Aegis Lifesaver? Yeah, we will not equip the Lifesaver turret because the Lifesaver turret will also give us stealth, but only 3 seconds. And since the stealth doesn't stack onto the stealth duration of the battleship, makes no sense. Keep that in mind. Certain turrets make no sense on certain battleships, okay? Instead, we are choosing a protection skill. Anti-jamming, again, no use for the Rex, but it could be useful for some other robots. However, the increased Aegis system is something that will help us on any robot, therefore being most universal and good to choose. In the support category for the turrets, and remember, once you equip a turret, you cannot remove it anymore. Also, that is not okay, Pixonic. I hate this. This is a very unfair thing to do. A player who is invested into content, you can't just delete the content because he wants to do what War Robots is best at, provide a sandbox of opportunities to let players experiment with their playstyles. That's what made the game great, okay? And now you're using this against the player. If he wants to experiment, he's gonna lose what he bought. That's so lame, man. You should not do this, Pixonic. Please rethink that. But yeah, it's about the 100th time that I've mentioned this. We have a repair blast, which repairs us, but I don't think we're gonna need that. Positive energy recuperator will make us faster and removes freeze, slow, and lockdown. Again, not useful in our case. What could be useful is a damage enforcement system to get us more damage output after the use of the battleship. That could make sense. Or, of course, what I would prefer actually is the durability extender. That's actually really huge. I think, yeah, I don't like to do this, but I want the durability extender twice on this one because it's one of the few battleships that has that. And the durability extender does what the name suggests. It increases your maximum HP and your current HP. And even though more damage output is cool, a lasting bonus, like a permanent bonus, is way cooler in my opinion. I usually prefer those. So, alright guys, let's upgrade the Stealther battleship. That's one more thing we have to do. We have 21,000 of those upgrade points, and the battleship is level 3. And the stealth duration is 5 seconds. I think it goes up to 10 seconds because we can take the distance from here to here and double it, and it should be at about 10 seconds, I think. So let's first do that because this is obviously the most important thing on this battleship. However, you also want to boost the charge speed multiplier. You see here on the right, the more you upgrade, the more expensive the upgrade stages get. So maybe we're going to stop at around 8 seconds of stealth duration now and begin investing into the speed modifier. That's the second most important thing. The repairable durability is something that we can kind of leave away, because if you remember, we have already gone heavily into health recharge on the pilot skills. So much so that we don't even need to use the active module for it. So we can also, since this is the same thing, we can leave it away here as well. We have, however, durability extension on the turret, so that is already included with some heal. Okay? So that's why I can technically completely leave out the repairable durability. And in this case, this is exactly what I'm going to be doing. We had 21,000 of those points. We want the charge speed modifier because that will bring up the battleship way more often. And you want to have this as often as possible. So this is one of the most important things. And the second one is the stealth duration. 10 seconds of stealth duration is absolutely ludicrous. Yeah, so let's go and do that. Now, since I did receive enough of the components here to upgrade this battleship further, I guess I'm going to do that. But keep in mind, the last upgrade step takes 600 points and only gives you 0.2 seconds. This one is actually the least worth upgrade stage of all. So I'm gonna leave it away for now, just to show you how much we're gonna spend. Remember 21,000 we had. And by the way, this is when we were finished. We are actually let's calculate 500 off of this, and we were finished. Because you don't need this. If you build a build like me, you will not need this down here. So we had 11,000 and we were at 8,300 or so. So we needed about the way 2,500 points, or 3,000. No, sorry, 21,000. 12,500 points or something is what we needed, okay? Or 12,000 or 12,000 points, something like this. That's the amount we needed to get to here. Maybe 11.5, okay? But, or too shortly before this. Now what I'm doing is I'm just gonna use the rest of the points that I have available, but of course I'm gonna leave away the 600er upgrade stage there. That makes no sense. Okay. The HP recharge is actually really substantial though, giving you a lot of HP, but then again, remember, you don't have the upgrades often from the battleships, right? So, 15%. Again, the last one is usually not worth it. I have the points laying around, why wouldn't I use them? I can't use them on another battleship, so obviously we're gonna max it out. But just to give you the idea, the higher you get, the less useful these things become, and you might want to stop, for example, here if you're limited. In this case, I would stop here and leave this away completely, all right? Okay, so, and now that we have maxed the battleship, good, that's done too. For now, we are ready to play the new robot, but again, this is gonna be in the next video episode, otherwise it's gonna be like a, 40-minute long video. That's nuts. So again, if you want to know more about my leaving of Germany, why in the world would I do that, right? What's going on there? What did I do? What did I take with me, right? My valuables, declaring gold at the customs and whatever. If you want to know all of those things and the reason why I haven't been keeping up with War Robots for a couple of days, check out the links below, TikTok and Instagram. Both platforms have the exact same videos. Somehow Instagram is not growing at all, but TikTok is doing great. Very interesting, by the way. I'm uploading the same thing on Insta as well as TikTok. Insta basically just dead, does nothing with it. TikTok is growing like crazy. Unreal. But yeah, so check it out, my friends, and I hopefully see you there, because I'm also checking in there, answering comments and so on. And I will hopefully also see you in the next video where we're actually playing the Rex. My apologies for not doing it this way. I hope you don't find it lame, but I think it makes no sense to make this like a 45-minute long video. Instead, I'm going to keep this to be some sort of upgrading guide and say goodbye. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, my friends. Have a good one. Until then, Manni off. Bye.